Individual rights. I ask in my Constitution, what's an individual right? I never get anything but, I have the right to carry a gun. Okay. Real quick, while I'm in here. Second Amendment does not give us the right to carry a gun. Hear what I said. The Second Amendment does not give us the right to carry a gun. God gave us a right to carry a gun because we're breathing air.
Right.
Seriously. God said you must protect life and liberty and pursuit of happiness. You have that right because you are my child. I don't care if you use a baseball bat, a slingshot, a bow and arrow, or a gun. If somebody comes in my house or my family, I have the right to kill them. God help them. Seriously. The government wants you to think that the Second Amendment gives you the right to have a gun. No. The Second Amendment says nothing shall infringe on that right. Do you see the difference? Make sure that you explain that to people. Nothing shall infringe the right that our God gave us. By the way, the assault on God and the Ten Commandments and God out of everything, if they manage, which I will not be breathing, if they manage to say that God is not the creator and God does not exist and we're not a Christian nation, that automatically null and voids our Bill of Rights and our Constitution. Understand that? Because those two documents are built on the premises that God is our creator and has endowed these rights that cannot be taken by man. Got that? You need to fight. Whether I tell people that you're a Christian or not, because you don't want to live in an unchristian society. Whether you're atheist or agnostic, I don't care. Individual rights. These are rights you are born with, period. We just went over that. Government exists to protect those rights. Does that sound like our government? When I wrote that, my hands flew off and went, wow. You and the product of your labor belong to you. Really? All the taxes? Now, because we voted against that, we're getting a 30% tax? Really? Versus communism rights. Government grants, restricts, and withdraws your rights. Is that communism? Okay. Community. They just relabel it. Pro-murder, pro-choice. You getting it? Collective. Community. The community needs comes before the individual's needs. The community. You and your labor belong to the community. How many people know the Pilgrims almost died because they did community farming?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Didn't work real well, did it?
No.
Okay. Let me explain what the collective, that's the biggest hot word over community. We're dealing with collective. The collective says we need to do this. Let me explain how collective works. Say we came into this meeting this morning, Michael introduced me and I walked up and I said, okay, we're all going to strip off our clothes and we're going to run across the street, naked. And everybody's going to look at each other and go, where did that come from? Michael looks at me and I'm like, that's what we got to do. If I went and then individually told you, do you want to strip off your clothes and run naked to you? Every one of you would go, no. Okay? If you pull the collective, you pull them, you're not going to find individuals who want to do the collective dictate. Why? Because the collective dictate didn't come from the individuals that made up the collective. It came from the elitist coming in saying, this is a dictate, but this is the collective dictate. Does that sound familiar? Homeowners Association? Yep. You're out getting mail, walking the dog, picking up the poop, and you're like, did you agree on that? Did you agree on that? None of the neighbors can figure out where this came from because it wasn't really individuals that got together in the community or collective. It was come down from a government or an authority board, a regional board, where you don't have a voice. Are you getting it? Yeah. Okay. Community, collective means communism. CC. Okay, the 3 E's. Environment, equity, economy. Who remembers the coup that said on Fox News, or it was reported on Fox News, that animals should have the rights to sue humans?
Yeah.
Remember? Animals should have the rights to sue humans.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that and went, that's a coup. Now I'm going to file it in the coup file. People, we're the coops because we have no idea the evil coopness that we're dealing with. Now, if you don't understand that animals should have more rights than humans, what do you think happened with the Delta smell? What do you think is happening with the red snapper that we're not allowed to catch fish and food anymore and our fishermen are going out of business? I grew up with a girlfriend that Daddy owned a shrimp boat off of St. Simon's. You can't buy $1 million and buy a shrimp boat and nets and go out and catch fish if you haven't done it your whole life. I couldn't hardly bait anything. That generation that learns how to fish and shrimp, that is passed down from generations and generations. And I get emails from fishermen going, we're going to be extinct in like 10 years, if even that. Guys, that's terrifying. If that long, that is terrifying what is going on to our food supply. This is not make-believe. I can't stress it. Now, I'm just going to have to tell you, if you go put in Google, Mitt Romney plus, a plus sign, not and, plus John Holdren, you're going to come up with article after article about Mitt Romney's John Holdren problem. Because when Mitt was a state legislator in Massachusetts, Holdren was his advisor, and together they sued the Environmental Protection Agency to make sure carbon dioxide, what we breathe out, is a pollutant.
Huh.
Pull that lever with unbelievable knowledge. Equity. Collectivism, which is communism, versus individual. Social justice for all. No individual rights, all done for the collective. This is where I pull out my lovely Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich. I pulled this out and go to a friend's house, sitting on the shelf. I am not a fan. He's a member of CFR, Council of Foreign Relations, has been for years. And I just happened to pull out, it's autographed by him. And why God directed me to page 153, I have no idea. It's marked if you want to come see it with the blue Post-it note. It says individual versus group rights. I went, that's interesting. Let me read you the first one. One of the greatest debates of the near future will be individual versus group rights. Second thing I did is went, when was this written? 1995. How did 25 years ago, yes, good morning. How did 25 years ago Newt know that the future debate would be individual rights versus group rights? Because he wrote the legislation that's in my book, highlighted, that I can show you, bill after bill that he stood. How we all dismissed him sitting with Pelosi on a couch, pushing global warming, that Pelosi, I had video in 1992, stood on the Senate floor, House floor, and said, we must push Agenda 21. While I was at the legislature in your state, I got in a fight with a Newt fan, and she worked on his campaign. Dr. Bill, were you in this room when this happened? This was hilarious. And she wanted to argue this when I got to the screen. So I pulled out my BlackBerry, and I read the foreword that he wrote in Alvin Toffler's, Tofflers book, Creating a New Civilization. Let me read it to you. The Constitution of the U.S. needs to be reconsidered and altered to create a whole new structure of government, building a third wave of civilization on the wreckage of second wave institutions. We are in their second wave. The third wave is what they're bringing in. Of institution involves the design of a new, more appropriate political structure. The system that has served us so well must in its turn die and be replaced. She got up and walked out because she could not respond. I own the book. I typed it in. You're welcome to get the book. Go to Amazon, read the reviews, and it's right there. Don't waste your time buying the book. Understand what we're dealing with. Understand that they have had a goal for a very long time, and we're just catching on. Stop listening to their words and paying attention to their votes and their actions. Okay? What did Daddy tell you about boys? Don't listen to this. Watch their actions and what they do.